Hello and welcome to a recap review of Westworld Season 2, the finale. So the sheer amount of talking points within this episode is immense. I could really spend an entire video talking about each character. I may even do that, break down the season and the finale for a few characters specifically. But anyway, for episode 10, so let's begin with the Forge, so the weapon, the Valley Beyond. So the reveal, it was all those things and more. It was the location that William used to store the guest's data. It was the location used to transfer human consciousness into hosts. It was the new world for the Ghost Nation. And it was the weapon for Dolores. Okay, so let's start with the Ghost Nation and the virtual world that they have inherited. So Arnold created within the Forge an untouched virtual world. It's a safe location for the hosts to live. This was isolated from everything, well, apart from the requirement for power and also data storage. So when Dolores was trying to purge all the data and wipe everything and flood the facility to destroy everything, it would have also destroyed the virtual world. Hence the disagreement between Bernard and Dolores, which ended up in Dolores' death, of course. But we see a portion of the Ghost Nation and random hosts reach that virtual world. But we also see a lot of hosts destroyed just outside it, which is really unfortunate, with what I will call the Clem Akazi. So Clem Akazi really did a lot of damage there, so she was sent there by Charlotte Hale. So she went right down the middle, destroying a whole lot of hosts. So that nicely leads into Maeve, as we saw Maeve and most of her group perish in the same situation. So to recap Maeve's scenario. So I believe what Ford gave to Maeve was the power to remotely power on hosts. So she managed to patch herself up with those hosts and rescue herself before her rescue crew actually arrived. The rescue scene was a masterpiece as well, summed up brilliantly by Lee Sizemore as bloody hell. So we see that everyone is still alive and kicking in her group at that point. But the numbers slowly start to dwindle. Those scenes as well, really impactful. So Lee's death, Maeve saving her daughter and dying herself, the escape, the actual rescue scene, all really impressive and also all very sad as well. But Maeve's happiness in that her daughter was saved, an emotional rollercoaster scene really. So then we see Aki go through the portal and he gets shot on the back just before, but manages to fall through what seems to be his dying breath, and he's fine because at that point he gets his digital consciousness uploaded to the virtual world, and also we see him reunited with his past love. So what an emotional roller coaster scene that was. It was crazy. It was all on a knife edge. It was also really brilliant. Okay, now on to Bernard, Dolores, and Charlotte Hale. So we see all the events around the Forge flooding. So Bernard and Dolores go on a whirlwind tour of the Forge, delivered by Logan. So Logan, a version built from his father's memories, because Logan never actually visited the park when the memory stealing or the memory capture was actually in place. So we see Dolores acquire the data she believes she requires, so then proceeds to purge the data and flood the facility, only to be stopped by Bernard. Then we see Bernard regrouped with Charlotte Hale's attack team, who are currently withdrawing to escape the flood. Then a shocking scene, really unexpected. So Elsie gunned down by Charlotte, which really at that point convinces Bernard he has made the wrong decision, that he should stop Delos. So he really tries to find Ford again. So he tries to find him in his code, but he can't. But then all of a sudden he turns up, which we later learn is actually just his memory. So Bernard creates a host version of Charlotte Hale, implants Dolores' pearl, so Dolores' consciousness inside Hale, who then kills Hale herself. So Dolores inside Charlotte Hale kills Charlotte Hale, only then to lead the rescue team into the death trap and then kill them all. So at that point, she has changed her mind. She wants to upload the virtual world to an unidentified location. Then we see, obviously, Charlotte Hale, or Dolores, whatever you want to call it at that point, kills Bernard. In saying that, she does take his consciousness, so his pearl, with her, and she leaves the park. So she leaves the park with 4 more pearls in her handbag. So 4 minds with her. And I believe at this point that it's probably Bernard, obviously, because we see him remade, probably Maeve, Hector, and possibly Armistice. So on the way out as well, we're led to believe when Dolores actually reaches the outside world, she is led to the building that Arnold was creating for his family as a safe area, so that Dolores can recreate the hosts and exist in a safe place in the real world. Okay, so that was a lot to take in. And also on top of all that, we have Teddy's pearl that Dolores took out of him and uploaded into the promised land, or the virtual land. Stubbs was a creation by Ford to protect the host, but only on the island. So once again, another person here that seems to be a host. Where did the virtual world get uploaded to? So where has the Valley Beyond now been uploaded to? What satellite did it go to? We have the coordinates, but not much more than that, but hopefully someone will crack it and figure out if there is actually a real world representation of that place. Is the facility that Dolores ends up in actually in the real world? How many hosts has Dolores been creating in this real world location? So having Charlotte Hale as a host with her, having that body, she has access to multiple resources, multiple hosts, so who knows, the world is her oyster at that point. Now let's briefly mention the Man in Black, or William. So last time I mentioned William, I indicated how in episode 9 it was heavily suggested that he was in a host body. It attracted a lot of negative response, which I thought was quite interesting. But Westworld really goes to show here that we can believe nothing and trust no one. Because if you didn't watch after the credits, it has more detail on William himself. So we see that he is actually going through a fidelity test, so we would be led to believe that he is a host. Or shall we go the other way here and say he has just lost his mind completely? But anyway, we may find out in season 3, or with another rewatch, maybe we'll have a different opinion. I really thought that this episode was a fitting end to the season. Whilst it had some amazing reveals and unexpected twists and turns, I did find the best parts to be the emotional scenes. I thought they were really impactful, and they'll probably stick with me for quite a while. So Lee and Maeve scenes, their death scenes, the reunion scenes, it was all very touching. So multiple scenes between characters as well, Bernard and Ford talking, it was very emotional, really enjoyable. So I aim to watch this episode again, and put out a few more videos delving deeper into some more characters. So subscribe to the channel to get a notification when I put these videos online, as I will do a few over the next few weeks, as I really have only just scratched the surface here with this episode. So as usual, leave your feedback below, thumbs up if you like this content, and until next time, this is Mesh, and I'll see you later.